Welcome to the Scoop Zone, where our panel discusses the most recent entertainment scoops from Mikey, Sutton's Geekosity.com. And now, your hosts, Keith and Gary. Right, I'm all done here.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode. I love that intro. I think Still loves it so much that he has been. I heard him use that song on his show, so I'm like, yeah, that guy's really good. I like his soundtracks that he does for YouTube. But I've got my new glasses today, so I'm feeling really weird with them because I can actually even see even better than I did before. And I noticed that. Oh no, we're like an Agatha Christie mystery, and then there were three. I got
it's also
word.
a popular name of a popular Genesis album I hear.
Yes, and then there were three. That's right. That was when it was Mike Rutherford, Tony Banks, and Phil Collins, and they did some really good music on that album too. It was their first foray into actual popular music with two songs on that album. But we won't get into that right now. What we're going to get into is, of course, there was a power outage for Port Arwin. And so, again, this is 8 episodes. She's only been on 2. And still, of course, he has some black guy shit to do. So he's doing that. He was going to try to get here, but, you know, I didn't expect it. I'm like, if you're busy, you probably aren't going to make it. So no biggie. We miss you guys. Look forward to you on the next episode. It'll keep it a tighter ship, I guess, with our opinions and probably go a lot quicker. So that gives us an opportunity to talk about something non-Mikey Sutton, which brings us to this wonderful bit of news. Today is William Shatner's 91st birthday.
There you go.
Yeah.
The guy is still going strong. Nobody can wreck an internet troll like William Shatner when he shats on him. Hashtag shatting. It's a thing. Do it. Whenever you see him shat on somebody, type that in, hashtag shatting. It's good stuff. William Shatner's 91. Unbelievable, man. He's just kicking ass. And God, on March 22nd, William Shatner's 91st birthday. And this is a magazine I worked for. This is one of the magazines I was a journalist for. I worked there with Susan Layton, and when she left, I left because she was the reason I was there. I wanted to work with her because she's a friend of mine. I didn't know anybody else there, and I'm like, I'm going to go away now. But it's still a pretty good magazine. Some of the people there are woke as fuck, but there are still some really good writers there. And for them to talk about William Shatner in a positive way proves that somebody's not woke. Right. So we're celebrating his birthday. Gosh. Oh, The World of Susie Wong. Yes, he was in that. And of course, the original A Shot in the Dark, before it was done with Inspector Clouseau, was done with William Shatner on stage. And Blake Edwards loved it, wanted to make it into a movie, but immediately adapted it into a Clouseau story.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, he is an Emmy-winning, People's Choice, Golden Globe, Television Hall of Fame member, Hollywood Walk of Fame, and also he's in the WWE Hall of Fame. So,
I love this man. Guy is played a space explorer and then became a real one, an astronaut.
Yeah,
he's fucking 90. Went into space. He did something none of us are probably ever going to get to do.
Yeah.
You know,
he's so far the only member of the cast of Star Trek that's actually done it.
Well, while they were alive.
True, while they were alive.
Because Jimmy Doohan, his ashes were released in space.
Yeah, and they also did the same thing, I think, with Gene Roddenberry himself.
Which I think is wonderful. Because I remember where I was when I heard that he was dead. I pulled over on the side of the road and I cried when it was announced he was dead over the radio. I was in between Vacaville and Oakland, driving. I was on the job And fuck, man, I'm like, he's dead. I can't believe this shit.
He was one of those people that I tried to make it a point to go meet. You know, I'd always wanted to meet Gene
Ditto.
Roddenberry.
I've always wanted to meet him. I got to meet, thank God, I got to meet Stan Lee and defend him at a convention when some guy yelled out, you know, how's it feel to be a thief from Jack Kirby and blah, 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 blah. And I said, and what have you done to earn the right to speak to this man?
Right.
Nothing. Move away. Go on. Nothing to see here. Now, Stan Lee, I don't think he's anywhere near as bad as Bob Kane. Stan Lee, what he did is he would not correct people, is really what it is. He would not make the claims himself, as I recall, but the claims would be made and he would not correct them. And that's his sin.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that and the issue that Jack had with him about how he and Joe Simon had originally lost their jobs at Marvel back in the day.
Oh, right. You were the one who told me that. I didn't know about this.
And I did not know that story until a couple years ago, that for the longest time he held a grudge against Stan Lee because he thinks Stan Lee was the one that outed both of them to get them fired.
That they were doing freelance work for other people, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. And now, the thing I got to say about Shatner is he and Nimoy were friends all the way up until really the last months of Nimoy's life, because Shatner put out that Captain's Chair series, and he had included footage of Nimoy in there because he wanted Nimoy to be a part of it. Nimoy didn't want to be a part of it, so he used in the can footage of Nimoy. And Nimoy lost his shit over it. And of course, all the Shatner haters out there jumped on there because it's like the only people that were attacking Shatner over what he did were people that already hated Shatner. You know, there weren't new fans that suddenly turned on Shatner. That just doesn't happen. What that was your Nimoy / Takei fans. They're George Takei fans that pretend to be Star Trek fans when they're just George Takei fans. But Shatner, you know, and of course, now when you see this article on Fanside, I saw this one right here. So I had to click on it and went to it. And I'm like, this is an interesting article because I just got this movie. And the movie that this interview came from is In Search of Tomorrow. I own it. And I'm watching it today after we do the show. I'm really looking forward to it. The definitive 80s sci-fi documentary. It's 5 hours long. It's a 5-hour fucking movie. I'm looking forward to spending 5 hours working and having that play on my other screen today.
Wow.
And of course, the thing that Nicholas Meyer is talking about is that in the original Wrath of Khan, he killed Spock. He expected this to be the final Star Trek movie. So he wanted to kill Spock off and be done with it. And they were trying to, Paramount and some of the producers were like, we need to leave it open-ended. We have to leave. And he fought them tooth and nail. No. And it was against his wishes that torpedo scene was shown at the end where the torpedo is down there on the Genesis planet. And, but he has finally come forward and said, I regret that I took that stand. This was the right move. That's what he's talking about in the interview. That was the right move to not kill Spock.
Well, I mean, it's, again, this, I think we were talking about it before the show, how Hollywood just seems to have this idea sometimes that when it comes to ideas and IP that you're not the originator of. Right. People just seem to have this idea that they can do whatever they want with characters. Not really thinking about what has come before and the person or people that created said IP, and not really even giving too much of a thought about anybody that's coming after them to take over once they leave. And if a character is not something or characters is not something that you created, I think you should always just treat it with respect. Right. You know, think about the history of the character and the fans that character has, and go from there.
I agree. What do you think, 24?
Man, yeah, I mean that's the issue with everything that's going on right now. Is people are getting a hold of properties and basically doing what the fuck they want to do. I'll give you an example, man. They put out this new Halo show.
Yeah.
Come to find out, the people that put it out never even fucking bothered to see what the game was about. So, like, what? At this point, it's like, what the fuck are we doing here?
They see it just like Kurtzman said. Star Trek isn't a franchise; it's a platform.
Right.
They see Halo as a platform. These people don't think like fans. They see everything as a potential platform to do whatever it is they're going to do.
Right.
But also to make money at the same time, because it's not like they're turning down.
Yeah, but they're
paychecks.
losing money.
I know, but a lot of these people are still able to get paid. Kurtzman is still doing this.
Oh,
he's getting paid.
they get paid.
Oh yeah, most people getting paid.
But the properties lose money.
Right.
Yes. And as far as I'm concerned, they might as well be stealing money.
Yeah, it's kind of like if you've seen how Netflix got this new Resident Evil show. Mm-hmm. One guy, Black Robert Wesker. You know, Wesker is a black guy. He's supposed to be a white dude, all right? And then there's like 6 women. That's Resident Evil.
Crazy shit, man. Crazy.
Between
if you're a fan, you know what I'm saying? If you're a fan, then
yeah. I mean, between that and what they're doing with Lord of the Rings, or in this case, the Rings of Power, and what's not only being done in certain comic book films, but a lot of comic books themselves.
Yeah, like Peacemaker.
Yeah, and you hear the name Rings of Power, all it makes me think is the Planeteers in Captain Planet. You know, the Rings of Power. I have the power to be woke.
You know, I heard Amazon just bought the rights to.
Yes, they did. That was big news yesterday.
Yeah.
It's like that's what all this is doing. They're trying to destroy the IP to get the price down, so Amazon can buy all of the Tolkien properties. So, yeah, they're gonna fuck it all up. They're gonna fuck it all up, but you know what? They're gonna be stuck with it. Once it's all fucked up, they're stuck with it. Nobody watching their fucking garbage shows. So there you go.
Well, nobody for a few years. I mean, that's really what a lot of this is. You wait another 5-10 years,
yeah,
and then you'll get a whole new generation of kids who probably have never read any of the books, and for them, this will be the definitive version, and it'll make them. In a
then
sense,
they'll release the very special Amazon abridged versions of the books.
Which, you know, they'll try to figure out a way of either changing whole cloth or at least changing enough of it to fit their worldview. And my thing is, why not just create something original? For all the money that's already been spent on this show.
What, more than half a bill, right?
Oh, geez, yes.
And not one episode has been put out yet. That's fucking, come on, man.
It's insane.
It's like how much, think about this, man. How much money do you expect these people to fucking make once the first episode rings out for them to justify they just spent that much money on basically getting the rights to it, then paying the people to fucking build the sets, film the shit, get your actors, you got to pay them motherfuckers, everything else that goes into that, along with whatever advertisement, just everything that it takes for something like that to, you know, for any show to go, but just to know that much money's been put into it, man.
They're not thinking about it. What they have done is in their minds, they're kind of separating everything out, and as long as the check clears, it doesn't matter. What happens beyond that is what you were hired to do.
So basically, as long as the people that worked on it, put it together, the whole shit, as long as they get paid, who gives a fuck about the outcome of whether the shit makes it or not?
Well,
that's exactly right, and that's what's happened with Star Trek and Star Wars, and other IP. It's the paycheck, and as long as they keep getting paid.
Kurtzman considers it successful solely because of the fact he got paid.
Yeah.
He doesn't care about the shitty viewership.
Right.
Because that's not his purview. You know, ultimately, as long as the check clears and he continues to get a check, either from the reshowing of the episodes or even whatever size check he gets from any merchandise that anybody happens to buy.
Right. Damn, that's crazy.
It's beyond crazy.
Yeah.
That's no way to... And for all of that, you could have...
Right.
Again, you get people that get pissed off because they want something new.
Right.
And I think everybody would love something new. But that's not what they're thinking about.
No.
You know?
No, it's all about, and you know, Cameron Pasha said in our show, is that Bezos is creating that communist utopia through Amazon.
Right.
Having that, you know, everything in one place. And of course, this week we have Scarlet Witch's unused costume on WandaVision is revealed. And this course is written by Joy Lynn Francisco. I'm not going to try to pronounce that name. I will be called racist because I will mispronounce it. WandaVision costume designer Andy Park revealed an unused Scarlet Witch outfit for the finale. We all remember that awesome WandaVision scene that debuted the Scarlet Witch in Wanda Maximoff, Elizabeth Olsen. That time she used the power inhibiting spell on Agatha Harkness, played by Catherine Hahn, yummy, and eventually won their duel. She was in full Scarlet Witch garb that really emanated power, from her headpiece to her boots. And the design is in the blood red and black palette, and even though it appears to be snug and somewhat heavy, it still allows ease of movement. Mm-hmm. And there it is. Look at that shit. That is gorgeous, man. And not just because Elizabeth Olsen is gorgeous. She is scrumptious. That's all I got to say. And Park's other Scarlet Witch design did have a cape, one that seems to be of ankle length, and it's also awesome. So, I don't know. I was very, very pleased with the costume. Even though I had problems with the series, I really did like the visuals from the show. It was very good.
Yeah,
well done.
I agree. It's a nice costume, and wow.
So shall we open the floor up to talking about WandaVision Scarlet Witch?
I hope that as things progress with Doctor Strange 2, that she'll be given a lot of opportunities to wear that costume. You know, be as close to screen accurate as possible, especially since she will be helping to basically unlock the rest of the Marvel Universe.
Any thoughts on that, 24?
I hope they don't have a season 2.
Yeah. I don't think they will. I think there was enough blowback on some of the mistakes they made that it just won't happen.
Yeah, I'll be ready for the return of Ralph Boner.
Ralph Boner.
You know, I think the fact that they've announced that there's going to be an Agatha House of Harkness special, so
yeah, it's just a special one-off. It'll be a one-off.
Oh, is this a one-off? I thought it was a series.
I don't think it'll be a series. I don't think it's a good idea.
Man, imagine she gets 8 episodes.
They need to do some of these little mini films, you know, for D+. Deadpool 3 could add Wolverine and the Hulk. I know that he has been fighting from the first film because he and Hugh Jackman have become buddies. And to get him on the film with him. I mean, he's made cameos through footage from the old film to the mask that he puts on, pokes the holes in his eyes. I don't know. I think it'd be great. And I think it'd be nice to have the Hulk in there.
Yeah.
You know,
press the Hulk.
You know, don't get me wrong. I would like to see some of the previous characters be on there, but the fact is Hulk and Deadpool is something that's been coming. I mean, we got a little taste of it when he went up against, Juggernaut.
Mm-hmm.
because Juggernaut's kind of a Hulk character. So, but he's not the Hulk. And so the Hulk, the way I've always understood it, no matter how much you beat him, he will keep growing to become strong enough to beat you.
Yeah, the angrier he gets, the stronger he gets, the bigger he gets.
Ongoing. It's ongoing.
Yeah.
And that's why the whole Superman versus Hulk was such a cool idea, is that how fucking big is he going to have to get to beat Superman? And I love those animations that guy did over years with Christopher Reeve versus the cinematic Hulk.
Yeah, Superman's solar powered, man. That's why he would have never won.
Yeah, but how fucking big would Hulk get before he stops? World War Hulk. But I'm stoked about this, you guys. Let's read the article. It's by Edwin Francisco and Mikey Sutton. Deadpool 3 director Sean Levy teased an appearance of the Hulk for the film. Netflix released Levy's new film, The Atom Project, last week. Afterwards, news of... Yeah, I enjoyed the shit out of that movie. Deadpool 3 hit the internet. The Atom Project co-stars Marvel's icons Ryan Reynolds and Mark Ruffalo. Levy posted... That's as fucked up as Ralph Fiennes being Rafe. I
know.
It just makes me give somebody this look when they say it. Really? So LeVay, there's no A in there, posted a photo of Reynolds and Ruffalo lying down. Oh, I'm sorry, it's Ruffalo. Both smiling for the camera, and it's Reynolds. He's Canadian. Reynolds.
Yes, he is.
Ryan Reynolds. And Merck Ruffalo. I'm being a dick. I'm sorry. Both smiling for the camera, and in the same shot, a container with a couple of peculiar stickers, Hulk and Deadpool. In other words, the Marvel superheroes Reynolds and Ruffalo are best known for. In the same tweet, he tagged the personal Twitter accounts of both actors and added Deadpool as a hashtag. That's good. I like that. Oh, yeah. And there they are. Yeah. Deadpool's right there. Off camera, but that's Deadpool. Little did I know. Of course, people will come and speculate, is this a sign? Will the Hulk be appearing in Deadpool 3? It seems like the director is trying to... I'm telling you, every time they've done this, that's what ends up happening. Mm-hmm. So it's not like we're fishing here and making shit up. Mm. These guys are clearly fucking advertising it. After all, Deadpool is in the MCU now. We will meet new friends and enemies as well. The possibilities are endless. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness even builds a bridge to Fox's earlier Marvel output. Disney acquisition, Fox changed everything. The MCU will expand greatly. Mix in the fact that Deadpool, because they're just going to pick what worked and they're going to just put aside what didn't.
Yeah.
It's a smart thing to do. And I'm talking about that kid Finn from Kung Fu thing. Iron Fist. He doesn't work. He's being put aside.
Yeah.
Thanks for piping in, guys. I was giving you room to fucking say something. You guys were like, uh-huh.
I was trying to catch up on his name.
Yeah,
I'd forgotten his name.
Finn Jones, right?
Finn Jones.
Yeah. Apart from this, they could very well acknowledge the father-son dynamic they had in the Atom Project. Well, of course, because Deadpool's meta. And he can pull whatever they worked on together into the film as a joke. Does one really need to note that the best part of the joke is that the character Ruffalo is playing, Banner Hulk, has no idea what the fuck he's talking about. Because none of the characters he's talking to have any clue of the meta jokes he's making. They have to be ignorant. Otherwise, it wouldn't be funny.
Yeah.
Does one really need to note that the picture Ruffalo seems to already know something, that my friends is not a regular smile? It's a surreptitious smile, yeah. Like a surreptitious wink. So, but I'm really looking forward to this one. This is the big one we've been waiting years for, is for Hugh Jackman to take on Ryan Reynolds. And I'm just stoked about the whole concept of the possibilities of this shit happening. What do you guys think? Let's hear it. Let's go.
I'm excited by anything that, first of all, allows Ryan Reynolds to just be Deadpool again. He is a natural fit, and he and what he's able to bring to a film, not only just in his performances and in also setting up stories, but in the way that he just uses social media. He's one of the three biggest names out there who is not only just a entertaining person, but he uses social media like a champ. He finds original ways to keep everything fresh and funny and on brand for him. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this.
24.
Yeah. I mean, what are we getting Professor Hulk?
We did that last film, and it did not go over well.
Yeah, that's. I mean, if it's not, I mean, we could see him, but I mean, if he's not who he's supposed to be, man, then it'll definitely. Now that's the thing you have to. You know, I guess my only question would be, which iteration of the Hulk are we getting?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I do have to say this: if it starts with the Professor Hulk, it would only be because Deadpool is the only person in the world annoying enough to get him angry to become the Hulk again. And there could be a good joke in that, I would say.
Right. Yeah, shit. Well, if that's the case, then yeah, I can see myself possibly agreeing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very skeptical about that kind of shit. But I know Brian Reynolds, well, he wouldn't try to make anything disappointing. So it'll be interesting how he would make it work.
He's also one of us. So
right.
There you go. So now we have this news. Wayne T. Carr could be the Justice League's future Green Lantern. Mm-hmm. He looks the part, man. I like it. And this article is by Mikey Sutton. So Wayne T. Carr finally posted an image of himself as Green Lantern. For those unaware, Zack Snyder filmed Wayne T. Carr as Green Lantern for his Justice League. However, Warner Brothers forced Snyder to remove the scene. Well, you know, those people that forced that are gone or going to be gone between now and June. So we're going to see the resurgence of Zack's, the Snyderverse. And despite the problems I have with it, I think it is far superior to anything this fucking asshole right here ever did. Greg Berlanti, fuck that guy. It's another misguided decision from Warner's, what they did. And I agree wholeheartedly with Mike. And Mikey oddly agrees with me on this. We are both simpatico on the fact that we are picking the lesser of two evils with the Snyderverse. And the Snyderverse still has a lot of stuff we like. But it has stuff in there that we don't like. Because he and I do not like what they did with Superman. And they just didn't understand the character. But I'm hoping we're going to see some changes moving forward with that. Because Henry Cavill's become a star, and he's going to have some say. And I'm hoping that we start seeing more of the Boy Scout Superman, thanks to him. The Green Lantern show moved forward in development without Stewart after all. Nevertheless, insiders reveal that Stewart will appear later in the Green Lantern program. Furthermore, Wayne T. Carr won't play him. But Wayne T. Carr could still be the Justice League's future Green Lantern, which that excites me. Given that Warner Brothers now has 2 live-action Supermans and 3 different Batmans, it's a dodgy excuse. After all, the Flash film runs through the multiverse. In other words, doppelgangers will saturate the DC landscape. Furthermore, Berlanti has a Stewart on television already. Yeah, but nobody gives a shit about that. Arrow's John Diggle.
Right.
David Ramsey discovered his real name was Stewart. In addition, he found an extraterrestrial box with a green glow. Wayne T. Carr shared his Green Lantern photo on the 1-year anniversary of Zack Snyder's Justice League. Not surprisingly, social media exploded with excitement, which included us. To his credit, Wayne T. Carr looks exactly like Stewart. Fans now really wanted to see Snyder's take on Green Lantern. Yeah, he's perfect. I think he's great. Admittedly, when word of Wayne T. Carr's deleted footage hit the internet, I was skeptical that it'll ever be shown. Likewise, I doubted that Wayne T. Carr could be Stewart in the future. My argument was that Stewart is an important figure in comic book history. Indeed, Stewart was among the first black superheroes. Writer Denny O'Neil and artist Neil Adams co-created Stewart. He debuted in Green Lantern number 87 in 1971. Thus, I felt that Warner Brothers would want a more well-known actor as Stewart for the DCEU. The current Warner Bros. Regime fragmented the DCEU into different pocket universes. When Snyder returns for Man of Steel 2 and Justice League 2, they'll exist in their own continuity. Therefore, would Warner Brothers decide to do a Stewart Green Lantern film? It'll be set apart from Snyder's Newark. Therefore, Wayne T. Carr is not out of the picture. I discussed this on my new YouTube series, Scoop Center. Oh, he didn't tell us about this. What? With Sil Abdul. Mm-hmm. Oh, well, we knew about Sil, but I didn't know he named it Scoop Center. Well, that's fine. Fuck you, Sil. Anyway. Moreover, sources added that Wayne T. Carr's missing scene could be added to the Snyder Cut sometime this year. While that's not a confirmation, insiders insist it's not outside the realm of possibility. Warner Brothers' merger with Discovery opened so many doors. This is no longer about faith, Alfred. Faith. So it's about patience. There you go.
It is. It is. And you know what? I'm hoping that we could actually see something big. I've been predicting that we were definitely going to have Green Lantern, but I was thinking more in my thoughts were leaning towards more in the realm of Green Lanterns, because within the bounds of the story that they have created with Darkseid, having killed a Green Lantern, a couple of millennia back, I don't think there's a statute of limitations on killing a Green Lantern, since they are technically the police officers of the universe. So every Green Lantern would be, hard pressed to come after him. And I thought a great way of doing it would be having just really, since he's coming to Earth, to have all of the 2814 Green Lanterns show up. So having Hal, having John, having all of them show up would be great. But if you're definitely going to need more than one, because he took out a Green Lantern. Let's at least put that on the table right now. Right. Darkseid has taken out a Green Lantern. So just having one Green Lantern makes no sense. You might as well make it Hal and John and go with the two of them along with everyone else that'll be helping out.
Yeah, because you get the whole core.
Oh, well, and they don't have to do the whole core. You could just have Hal and John, but it wouldn't be smart to just have Darkseid and the minions of Apocalypse and not have really New Genesis show up and lend support to the humans. Put all of Jack Kirby's New God stuff up there, because right now we're only dealing with half of it. That's what this movie covers, is only half of it. You might as well put the other half in there. And if they end up doing that, Batman's got to sit in the chair. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, take a back seat. 24, what are your thoughts, man?
Well, I could, the fact that this gentleman wasn't used as Green Lantern in Zack Snyder's Justice League, it's probably because he's going to be used with Greg Berlanti, and I'm not talking about anything CW related, when he does his Green Lantern show for HBO Max with all the same guys that did the original Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern movie. They're all back together and they're doing this Green Lantern series. And I think they're going to have John Stewart there. And I've already seen Guy Gardner. I've already seen Alan Scott. He's part of the show. They've already been cast. So the fact that Berlanti's doing this on the HBO Max side of things, I can see why Zack Snyder couldn't use him for his movie. And then I guess it all depends that once Zack Snyder gets around, if he ever gets a chance to do it in Justice League 2, it would probably be sometime after the Green Lantern series already launched. And you get to see how that's well received before they give Snyder the green light to go use Jon Stewart, because fucking Berlanti didn't do shit with him when he had his Green Lantern show. So I guess they're trying to see how it all pans out. But I can see why they stopped him from using them, though.
Yeah, I'm watching to see what Zaslav does.
Right.
That's going to predict the future.
You know what? When I said that Batman needs to sit in the chair, I didn't mean for him to sit out. What I'm saying is have Batman sit in the Mobius chair.
Mobius chair. Yeah, I knew.
Oh, that's what I want to see.
Yeah, I already
having
knew.
That's straight up from the comics.
Yeah,
and
from the Dark Side War.
Oh, geez, that was See, now if he ends up doing that,
right.
I'm sorry, but that will automatically, that scene, and Affleck definitely, that'll make him best Batman ever sitting in the Mobius chair.
Well, now we pick up on another DC story, which is this little thing here with Will Smith ready to play Deadshot again. This article is by Joy Lynn Francisco. And Will Smith is open to playing Deadshot again if the villain has new character arc. 2016 Suicide Squad with Will Smith's Deadshot grabbed $746 million at the box office. Even though it didn't get as much critical acclaim with a Rotten Tomatoes rating of 26, it still had a bit of a decent 59% audience score from the 100,000 ratings. And it's not bad. I thought it was a little better than that. I thought it was a 65 to 70. It should have gotten that much. Suicide Squad is about a group of incarcerated individuals that Amanda Waller, Viola Davis, recruited. Waller chose Deadshot to lead the group and named them Task Force X, also known as the Suicide Squad. Will Smith's Deadshot is an excellent marksman and never misses a target. He has built a reputation as a gun for hire in the villain community. This led him to a quagmire of a conundrum with the law. Despite his killer reputation and apparent disregard for life, including his own, he is fiercely loving to his daughter Zoe. Well, who wouldn't be? I love my daughter Zoe. His daughter is his only reason to live. Also, all his earnings from his profession is in the sole mission to provide for Zoe's needs in the future. Audience had mixed impressions of the film, but many still expressed favoring how the story delivered. And once again, that wasn't the Ayer cut, however you want to pronounce it.
Ayer cut, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's going to be different once we finally get to see his cut, how we react to Suicide Squad. And once again, the Suicide Squad is more of a parody of the Suicide Squad. That's why, as much as people seem to enjoy it, and I did enjoy it, I really see Peacemaker and the Suicide Squad as parody DC and not real DC.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the reason why when I say that once the Snyderverse comes back, there's going to have to be some decisions made as to what to use and what not to use. Just the same way that Snyder made the decision not to use a lot of the characters and things that Joss Whedon had brought into his version of Justice League. There were films and other things developed specifically to go against the Snyderverse and or outside of what Snyder had already established. That's the reason why Birds of Prey, I'm sorry to keep saying this, people, none of those characters will make the transfer over. The Suicide Squad, James Gunn stuff, will be allowed to be its own universe. Even though
because he's doing more, he already said he's doing 2 more separate projects from Peacemaker, but I guarantee they're all TV. Because
it'll all be
because of something I'm about to mention here. But I did like this. Back in 21, Will Smith commented after Elba did not replace him as Deadshot, saying, "All right, cool, so I can come back," because he wants to come back.
Yeah.
And with the Iyer cut, we're going to see something completely different, and people are going to want Deadshot back once they see that. And of course, Mikey and I, because I said this before him, but I was saying it because I was pretty much looking at the box office. It was a failure because I watch Box Office Mojo like crazy, and Mikey Sutton was the first one to publicly come out and say that the Suicide Squad, was an absolute failure, which is why Gunn is relegated to DC TV, and
why David Ayer's version will be the version that they move forward with. But there was never any doubt that they were, because David Ayer developed his movie with Zack Snyder. All those characters were meant to help introduce the Justice League, and I think ultimately we're going to see them again, probably in Justice League 3.
Now, she adds here, by the way, I want to add this in here. Included in the speculated cause of its failure in the box office is Will Smith's missing Deadshot, and I agree that I think that hurt the film.
Mm-hmm.
I also think it was dumb the way they killed characters at the beginning, and killed other characters. I don't want to say who they were.
Well,
even though you should have seen the fucking movie by now, but someone will bitch, spoilers. And it's like, Jesus Christ, it's been out for a year, motherfucker. What the hell's your excuse? That they killed. Fuck it. Fuck you guys. They killed Flag. They fucking killed him.
Right.
He's one of the best characters in the Suicide Squad.
And they also fucking murder him. They killed Boomerang.
Yeah, and they gave him such a dumb death. God, I'm just so pissed at that fucking movie.
So I think ultimately when everything comes back, and again, I think what Zack Snyder is angling to do with Justice League 3 is to create something on the level of what you saw in Endgame. Considering the size of the army that Darkseid is bringing, if you just use all the heroes that will already have been revealed up to this point, because again, as Bruce kept saying, they need more people. You cannot fight Darkseid with the 6 individuals that you had in the Snyder Cut. Even with Superman, you guys are going to get taken down. You're going to need more people. A lot more people. Might as well bring in the Suicide Squad. And $746 million is how much David Ayer's Suicide Squad was able to bring in. This is the version that was in theaters.
Right.
So that's way better than what the Suicide Squad was able to accomplish financially.
Yeah, exactly. Your thoughts on this, 24?
Man.
You sound so depressed.
No. It's actually I was actually in the middle of making a video, man, about Jared Leto saying that he's not done playing the Joker, and they were saying that a lot of the stuff that they filmed basically, was never put in the movie. So the thing is, there was more of a dynamic to the Joker when it came to that first Suicide Squad movie that we never even got to see, to figure out his connection between him and the team. It's like, I don't know, it was like there's something missing. It's like he's there, but it's like he has his own story going on at the same time.
There's this thing I want to add, because I want to interject and I want you to finish, but what there is blood in the water right now from Warner Brothers. And these actors that were shit on by Warner Brothers in their release of the first Suicide Squad film,
right,
are finally piping up and speaking because they know what's happening. They know what's going on. They've gotten word that there's a new boss, and the new boss wants what was originally planned. Mm-hmm. And so that's why you're seeing them step forward. But please continue. I just wanted to interject that in.
No, it's cool. I was just saying, it's like, man, I'm looking forward to seeing this Ayer cut. So hopefully within the next year or so,
Amen. We're going to get it on HBO. We're going to get it on HBO, and I'm telling you, and, it's going to be a big one for HBO Max.
Right.
I think they're going to try to drop it soon. I mean, with the way that Mikey and Syl have been talking, and so far they're the only ones that have been saying that this entire Warner Brothers deal is going to be done way quicker than what a lot of people think.
Right.
So,
well, we've already seen some of the murders taking place at Warner Brothers by CNN. Well, not CNN. I'm sorry, AT&T. AT&T is overseeing the slaughter at CNN as well as at Warner's. And it's funny because I want to go back to a video of Momoa when he got word of Aquaman movie, right? And he's running through the hallways. Remember that video? Remember how empty that fucking place looked? That's the way it's going to look in a few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be very fucking empty over there because people latched onto the wrong fucking ships, man. They did. They made a bunch of fucking just enormous fucking errors.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and this is something that could have easily been avoided if people had just been a little more worried about the bottom line.
Also been smarter.
And been smarter.
Amen to that.
This is not rocket science in that particular sense. You again, after the screw up with Joker and Wonder Woman 84 and Birds of Prey, you had to have an understanding that things needed to really change. And that you need Zack Snyder. You do not have the number one content on your service be Zack Snyder's Justice League and think to yourself, well, we don't need these guys.
Right.
Well, I got, I want to end this section with something that was said by one of my favorite characters in science fiction history, Ripley from Alien.
Did IQs just drop sharply while I was away?
That's Warner Brothers. So we've got another bit of news. It's another character from a different publisher who's really good at hitting targets. And of course, I am talking about Bullseye. The last iteration of Bullseye that we got was in the Daredevil movie. And they were leading to him in the series on Netflix, the Daredevil series. But this is going to be, as Feige has made it clear, going to be a comic accurate Bullseye. Because I enjoyed the Bullseye and Daredevil all the way until he arrived in America. I liked him in the Irish pub. I liked him on the plane. And then all of a sudden, he's this fucking dumb character. He's really stupid. And really not an enjoyable character like he should have been. He should have been darker and more dangerous. And they played him for laughs. And it just doesn't fucking work. So Feige, well, I'm going to go ahead and say it here. Mikey Sutton wrote this article. Marvel Studios will introduce a new comic-accurate Bullseye in their Daredevil reboot. Although Marvel Studios kept Charlie Cox's Daredevil and Vincent D'Onofrio of the Kingpin, not everyone will return from the Netflix series. In the comics, Bullseye is among Daredevil's key villains. Writer Marv Wolfman and artist John Romita Sr. co-created Bullseye in Daredevil number 131 in 1976. However, it wasn't until writer-artist Frank Miller incorporated Bullseye in his run that he caught fire. And of course, that was the single best run of Daredevil. And it gave birth really to his Catholic upbringing and all that shit. It really gave us a proper origin story to Daredevil within the story, because we got to go back, meet his dad and all that shit. And specifically, Miller toughened and deepened Bullseye. His brutal murder of Elektra shocked fans in the early 80s. Two actors have played Bullseye in live action. And I don't consider Wilson as really, it wasn't anything. But Colin Farrell is really, in my opinion, the only one who played Bullseye, and it was not a very good version in the Fox film. And the Fox film was good until it got goofy.
Yeah.
Because you saw a very dark, I didn't like the mask. I thought the mask looked stupid. But he made a really good Matt Murdock.
Yeah.
And Ben Affleck did a fantastic job in that film. The teeter-totter scene was just dumb. I think it's one of the worst scenes in the film. And then Bullseye, once he became the villain in the story, he went off the rails, and they were trying to play it for laughs instead of going for the dark. And that was where they fucked up, and the movie derailed. And at that point, going into the second and third act, it just flopped.
Yeah.
Bullseye is one of comics' most striking costumes. Unfortunately, Hollywood hasn't shared the same enthusiasm. Sources indicate that the MCU Bullseye will be accurate to the comics. Good. I like that costume. Of course, it gives a target for his head, but what the hell?
Hey, if you can hit it.
Good luck. And I love Charlie Cox's, and I'm looking forward to see a more Marvel accurate, and he's pushing for it, Cox is. Because Cox also, like Hugh Jackman, read the comics and loves the comics and wants a more comic accurate Daredevil. So I think we're going to finally get something in that venue. What do you guys think? Well, I mean, I'm sure you've been reading up, both of you.
Mm-hmm. Look, I'll let you go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead, man.
I was just going to say, look, anything that gets us to getting more Daredevil with Charlie Cox in it is a good thing. And depending on who they get to actually be the showrunner of this, I'm hoping they keep it as gritty as anything, because that's really how all of this stuff should be. Bullseye as a character works when you keep it gritty and keep him, not
Street
on the
level.
superhero side of things, but on the gritty, dark side of things. And that's the way it should be done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. It's like keep them more on the street level, kind of deal. Yeah, I mean, I think Spider-Man probably be the one that can kind of go in between street level and dealing with some cosmic shit. Nobody would look at him sideways. But he's one of the very few. Like, you take a, like I never, like, I'll give you an example, man. You look at Secret Wars, you wonder why, what the fuck is Punisher doing there? He can't do nothing.
You're right.
It's like it's like you have some, you got some, Black Widow can't do shit. Captain America, you could understand. You got the strength of 5 men or some shit. So of course you can understand why he's there. And plus,
anybody without superpowers shouldn't have been in the Secret Wars.
Right.
Daredevil really is very human.
Right.
But he has the ability, a mutated ability, to see through sound.
Right. I mean,
that's
he's
his only superpower.
Right. And he's he's acrobatic and everything else. I mean, but I could see, like, people do need to see the street level of things, and that's where the Defenders come in. And I mean, there's a bunch of other heroes you can throw in there too. Blade is a street level individual that deals with more of the supernatural side of things. So is because there's all kind of entities that are street level that goes beyond it being just like the heroes or the villains. There's a lot of monsters and different things that you could I could see all kind of things kind of cross-referencing if they decide to one day maybe like Werewolf by Night shows up in a Daredevil episode or some shit like that. So,
well, I want to point something out too, that even though I loved Scott Glenn as Stick on the Netflix series, he was not a comic accurate Stick. And so I'm wondering if that's one of the characters we're going to see recast to be more like the one that we saw in Frank Miller's Daredevil, because he was a small Asian man. And so what are your thoughts on that?
Look, anything to keep us on that comic accurate tip.
Right.
If Kevin Feige
just the tip.
If Kevin Feige believes that this is the way to go, he has more than earned my patience with him and leeway to do this.
He's got my ire, but I still do have a lot of patience for him.
Yeah.
So I agree. But did you guys like Stick as a character in the Daredevil?
Oh, yeah.
Frank Miller Daredevil.
Yeah,
Daredevil run?
Then again, I'm a big Sky Glenn fan.
And then, of course, we find out that he also trained Elektra.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like we should have gotten more of that cinematically with the Elektra movie, which was just crap. To be honest with you, I really do want someone Mediterranean playing Elektra. Somebody who, even if they're not Mediterranean, I don't care what. I want them to look Mediterranean because Elektra was Mediterranean. She was Greek, and she was dark-skinned and prominent nose. I love her nose in the comic book, man. Frank Miller, that was a sexy Elektra, dude.
I think ultimately, this was one of the complaints that I had about Phase 4 in the way they handled Shang-Chi. That a lot of this stuff could easily fit within the same thing. And instead of having Shang-Chi be like the superhero Shang-Chi, it should be more about keeping it very street level, keeping him a man that wanders around and handling the darker corners of the Marvel Universe that doesn't really get exposed a lot. Right. There is an almost kind of like street level / kind of hidden world factor to a lot of the Marvel Universe that Kevin Feige, for whatever reason, seems to be shying away from. Every opportunity to show this stuff, and he goes a different direction, whether it's a Falcon and the Winter Soldier, where they go to Manderpool, or with Shang-Chi, where instead of exploring the lower levels, they just decide to do a whole mystical, mythical adventure thing, which really...
almost sounds like Miss Testicle.
Oh,
baby.
Well, we have some more Daredevil news I want to kind of go over before we move into the comic book phase for our dear 24/7 Fusion Media. So let's hit this little doodad. And that leads us to this next section, which is really sexy because this girl is awesome. I like her. Deborah Ann Woll wants to join Disney Plus Daredevil reboot. I'm afraid she was part of the fallout. And I'm hoping that they rethink that because she was a good character. She was a character between two shows, just like Rosario Dawson was. And she was a character.
She was 3 shows, I think.
Yeah, she was on. She was. Oh wait, that's right. Because she was also on Iron Fist as well, dealing with the Daughters of the Dragon. So we've got her with her relationship with the Punisher, because she actually has romantic leanings with him, and then of course her relationship working with working with Charlie Cox's Matt Murdock and Foggy. So I don't know. I hope that they find a way to bring her in. So here's what Mikey wrote. Deborah Ann Woll wants to return to Disney Plus Daredevil reboot. In Netflix's original Daredevil series, Deborah Ann Woll played one of the show's core characters. She was Karen Page. She ended up killing somebody, but rightfully so. It's justified homicide. Among the partners of the Nelson, Murdoch, and Page law firm, Daredevil gave Deborah Ann Woll a gripping personal arc. It really was. Page started out as an assistant. Afterwards, she became Daredevil's love interest, just like in the comic books. In fact, Page ultimately developed a deep connection with Daredevil, Charlie Cox. She wasn't just someone who had a relationship with Matt Murdock. Oh, well, I didn't know that.
Oh, wow.
They fought injustice in their own ways. Deborah Ann Woll wants to join the Disney Plus, and I guarantee you, if that's true, then Charlie's pulling for her.
Oh.
Okay, I know that was terrible, but I hope she does get pulled into it. I of course want Foggy Nelson in there because God, that kid was really. I got to be honest. I liked John's portrayal of Foggy in the Daredevil movie, but I think the kid was a better Foggy.
Well, I liked everybody that was cast in Daredevil. Right. I think they all should have just been moved right over.
Right over. Yeah, I agree with you. Because once again, really, the only person that really was iffy the whole time was Finn Jones. just not very good. He just didn't seem into the character.
Well,
Didn't do his own martial arts style. It was just dumb. It was dumb.
I felt bad for him. You know, he was an actor taken apart. You know, and I get it. I do, but some things work, some things don't. And this is one of those instances where it just didn't work out.
Yeah. Why don't you sound like a little bit of a dick when you say that?
Just a little.
I'm the dick on this show. Anyway. Okay, 24/7. This is your moment. We are now moving into one of my favorite parts of the show, the State of the Union of Comics with 24/7 Fusion Media.
Appreciate that. Yeah. Looking through my collection, and I figured what would be something that maybe a lot of people haven't gotten around to checking, or if they have, they haven't looked at it or read it or seen the significance of it in a long time. And as I was going through, I came across one comic that, you know, there's quite a few of them, but this is the first one I came across, and I said, well, let me go ahead and pop this up. Now, this is 0 Hour issue number 1. And if people understood how 0 Hour worked, it went back from issue number 4 to issue number 3, then number 2, then number 1, then 0. And basically, 0 Hour is where you know, it's a story where you have a villain called Extant that was basically manipulating time and basically killing a lot of heroes and some villains in order for him to manipulate time, basically in basically manipulating time in his own view. So he just wanted to make things the way he wanted to, and wanted to manipulate time for his liking. And when you get to issue number 1, the heroes have him defeated, and all of a sudden you see a punch come and somebody like a fist hit Superman and basically floors him. And when you flip to the last page, you get to find out that it's Hal Jordan has Parallax. That's when you get to see Parallax for the first time.
Yeah.
And you know, that pissed off a lot of people. A lot of people didn't like to see Hal Jordan become a villain. But I think that it set Hal Jordan up that even for fucking over a decade later, he'll get to come back as Green Lantern when Jeff Johns and Ethan Van Sciver bring him back for Green Lantern Rebirth. But it all started with him losing Coast City. I think it was issue 73 or 70. I can't remember. I could be wrong. But it was, I think it was issue 73 or 74 of the Green Lantern series that was going on at the time in the 90s to stir Hal Jordan down this path of being a villain.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just shocking to see that when you got to that final page. I remember how I felt when I seen it. You'll open it up and basically you see Hal Jordan standing there over Superman. Mm-hmm. You get to find out that he's the actual villain of the whole 0 Hour. And this particular comic is important because it was actually autographed by the creator of Green Lantern, Martin Ordell. He also drew the lantern in the middle. So he created Alan Scott, the creator of Green Lantern. So this is there's a hell of a copy, man. It's, you know.
Wow.
But yeah. If you guys, you know, enjoy the multiverse. A lot of people didn't like 0 Hour, but I would say, yeah, I would give 0 Hour a shot, and that would be my recommended comic book for the week.
Thanks a lot, man.
Wow.
Dude, that was awesome.
That was.
And that brings us to the end of the show. I hate it because this is actually, and I know 24 feels the same way as I do. Keith, he doesn't care. That this is our favorite moment of the week, hanging out together, doing this show. Right. I have such a blast with you guys. I miss Arwen and fucking Sil this week, but still we had fun.
Yeah.
They'll be back next week, so it'll be good.
Yeah. So I want to thank everybody for being here. Great episode. I do want to announce that with the show, our last episode is the first one with timestamps on our channel. So you can actually go to each section. This will be the second one. I'm going to do that with every one of these episodes to make sure the timestamp so people can jump forward or go back to look at something again and listen to us rant about something asinine like we normally do.
There you go.
Be informative and helpful at the same time.
I'm going to assume that the lovely Sherry is in the chat. You're a naughty girl, Sherry. You're naughty. You're a naughty, naughty girl. I want to thank everybody that joins us in the chat on Thursday. Every Thursday, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, you will have a new episode of The Scoop Zone with the wonderful team of The Scoop Zone, which sometimes some will be absent because, well, shit happens.
There you go.
But until next time, thanks for watching and enjoy the outro because it's always fun.
Hey guys, thanks for watching Pop Culture Minefield. If you've enjoyed the show, please remember to like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell icon. Remember, you can find us at Pop Culture Minefield on both Facebook and Instagram. Thank you again.
Y'all come back now, you hear?